I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my homies? Hope you're doing well, feeling blessed, having a good day, having a good week. This one's going to be Tatsuro Taira taking on Alex Perez in the main event. And before we get into making breakdowns, making picks, I actually want to give a personal shout out to SmokingBlunts 781. And the reason that's why I want to do that, his last two MoneyCity comments, both pay-per-view comments, and they smacked. And I missed them both. I'm not sure how I missed the last one because I literally had it saved on my desktop, and then I'm reading a comment from MoneyCity like, where's my MoneyCity comment? So I'm not sure how the last one didn't make it to the video, but guys, if you see SmokingBlunts post a MoneyCity comment for a pay-per-view, get your notepad out, get your pencil, get your notepad. He's going to put money in your account. Let's go. And guys, I'm also going to put money in your account because it was nearly a clean sweep on the last card. We won 4 bets, only lost 1. That's money, let's go. And that's 11 betting wins from my last 13. So we're on a nice run. I'm locked in, I'm fully focused, and I'm ready to go again. Let's go. And as you can see with my lineup, I had Carlos Prates with Raul Rosas Jr. as a plus money parlay, pure money. I had Lapalus with Ferreira, minus 115. That's money. I told you guys, I told you. Dominic Reyes, don't sleep on Dom, not against the kicker. Then I had a unit on Nasruddin because in my opinion, he's better than Jared Cannonier when it comes to striking, and that's what you saw. Now some people might say, well, that's a bad stoppage, but he was going to die anyway. My only losing bet was Dos Santos and Andrea Lee, but yeah, 4 out of 5, close to a clean sweep. If you want all the bets that I'm personally making on this card, the only way to do that is to join the Patreon. That's where I post all my betting tickets. And also join my Discord. Now moving into the MoneyCity Champions, if you see your name on the screen, you already know. You literally already know. That's money. Pure money. Guys, let's do it again, man. Let's do it. Now moving into the first matchup of the card, we've got Shayilan Nuerdanbieke taking on Melq Costa. And guys, Melq Costa got dusted by Steve Garcia. And I'm not talking about any type of dusteration. I'm talking about severely dusted. Guys, if you go back and watch that fight, Steve Garcia choked out Melq Costa. And as he choked him out, he let go of the choke and then woke him back up with elbows. It was some of the nastiest work I've ever seen. Severe damage, right? And that's where Melq Costa attempts like a single leg on the ref, which kind of paints a picture just how much damage he took. So yeah, the damage that Melq Costa took, it's kind of concerning. However, he's a jiu-jitsu player and he's also got some decent Muay Thai. You know, the kicks in the jiu-jitsu. That's most Brazilian skill set, right? So his skill set's good. Now guys, the opponent is Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, and we've recently seen a similar style with a different Chinese wrestler, Helai Alateng or Alateng Helai. So it's pretty much the same thing, you know. Shayilan Nuerdanbieke is going to attempt to grapple. He's going to attempt to wrestle with Melq Costa. And if he's not wrestling, he's throwing like big overhands, big hooks. He's throwing big punches. But he is a wrestler. But guys, the problem with Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, his cardio is super dusty. 1 round cardio. And guys, both Melq Costa and Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, they're the sons of Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia dusted both of these guys, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of funny. But we're going to have to make a pick on this matchup. And despite the damage that Melq Costa took against Steve Garcia, I still think he's more than likely to win this weekend. You know, his jiu-jitsu's good, his kicks are good. The Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu base that most Brazilians have, it seems to work, especially against pure wrestlers with dusty cardio. So guys, give me Melq Costa to have a nice bounce back win this weekend. I'd love to see that. You know what I'm saying? Dusted badly by Steve Garcia. Guys, how many messages do you think Steve Garcia is receiving right now? Like, yo Steve, both your sons are fighting, who you picking? Hey, give me Melq Costa. Now moving into the next matchup, we've got Josefine Knutsson taking on Julia Polastri. And guys, in my opinion, Josefine Knutsson, this girl's good. This girl is very, very good. She trains with Hamzat Chimaev. So yeah, good training partners, good team. But guys, for a girl that's only 7-0 as a pro mixed martial artist, this girl's good, man. The kicks, the speed, the hands, the grappling, the wrestling. It's all very good. And guys, she is 28 years old and she has less experience than Julia Polastri. But in my opinion, Josefine Knutsson, her potential is more than Julia Polastri, in my opinion. Now, Julia Polastri's been on the contender twice. She lost the first one against Jasmine Jasdovicia. She got ragdolled, right? But then she got another opportunity, got a contract second time round. So good stuff from Polastri. However, Josefine Knutsson, she only needed one attempt. You know what I'm saying? She didn't lose a fight, have to come back and then get another attempt. That's like the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference here. Josefine Knutsson's the real deal, in my opinion. Now, it is women's mixed martial arts, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off. I've been way off on women's mixed martial arts more than once. We all have, right? Guys, I can't really see Polastri being able to box with Knutsson. I can see Knutsson being able to box with Polastri. And also with the grappling and the wrestling, I can't really see Polastri being able to get Knutsson to the mat. And even if she does get her to the mat, like I said, this girl trains with Hamzat. This is light work. This is real light work. So yeah, guys, give me the kicks, give me the speed, give me the boxing, give me the grappling, give me the wrestling, give me the potential of Josefine Knutsson. Like I said, I believe this girl's the real deal. Could I be way off? There's a chance I'm way off. It's women's mixed martial arts. But from what I'm seeing, the speed is good, the kicks are good, the wrestling, the grappling, it's all very good. It's much better than Julia Polastri, in my opinion. So guys, give me Josefine Knutsson, give me the Swedish fighter to win this weekend. And like I said, I think this girl's the real deal. I wouldn't be surprised if she stops Julia Polastri, because I don't really see Polastri being able to compete with Knutsson. So that's the pick. Moving into a matchup between Jeka Saragih taking on Westin Wilson. And guys, this is going to be Muay Thai versus Karate. The Muay Thai player is Jeka Saragih. The Karate player is Westin Wilson. And guys, in my opinion, Muay Thai kills Karate. Like 10 out of 10 times. It kills it. Guys, the only time that Karate doesn't lose to Muay Thai, in my opinion, is when you're Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which Westin Wilson's not. I think he's related to Wonderboy, but this isn't Wonderboy. This is Westin Wilson. So that's what you're going to get this weekend. You're going to get Muay Thai on one side, which is Jeka Saragih. And on the other side, you're going to get Karate. Westin Wilson's going to attempt to kick. You know, the Karate player loves to kick. And that's where Jeka Saragih is going to be like, that's cute. That's real cute. And then he's going to start to dust him up with some real kicks. Real kicks, right? Now, guys, most of the time when you've got like a pure Muay Thai striker, the biggest problems come when they fight a wrestler or a grappler, right? Now, that's not the case with Westin Wilson. He's not got the grappling. He's not got the wrestling. So this is going to be a striking matchup. But like I said, most of the time when you've got like a pure Muay Thai fighter, the biggest trouble is a wrestler, a grappler. And that happens a lot on the UK regional scene. You know, you've got a Muay Thai guy, and then you put him up against an MMA guy, right? A guy that likes to wrestle, likes to grapple, and they get taken to the mat. But that's not the case this time round. So you're actually going to get Muay Thai versus Karate. We're going to see which is better. We know which is better. We already know. So guys, I do expect Jeka Saragih to essentially dust Westin Wilson. You know, this guy's jaw is pure dust. But I do want to see quite a few kicks in this matchup. You know, I want to see Westin Wilson show Jeka Saragih, look, this is Karate. I'm going to try to kick you. And that's where you're going to see Jeka actually respond with some actual kicks. You know, damaging kicks, effective kicks. So give me Muay Thai over Karate 10 out of 10 times. Unless you're Wonderboy, which Westin Wilson's not. Give me Jeka Saragih. Now moving into women's mixed martial arts, we've got Carli Judice taking on Gabriela Fernandes. And guys, with Gabriela Fernandes, this girl's a boxing coach over in Brazil. However, 0-2 in the UFC. And the reason as to why she's 0-2, her wrestling, her grappling, 0. So if Carli Judice was to exploit the grappling, the wrestling of Gabriela Fernandes, then potentially she can win the fight. However, Carli Judice, more of a kickboxer, more of a striker, right? And you see that on her Contender Series matchup. However, the cardio of Carli Judice, a little bit dusty, right? So if she starts to slow down, that's where the boxing of Gabriela Fernandes, it may show to be very effective. You know, starts to slow down, the jab starts to land, the 1-2 starts to land. You know, she's a boxing coach in Brazil, so she knows how to box, but she doesn't know how to wrestle. She doesn't know how to grapple. If you get her to the mat, where's the get-ups? You know, she's a fish out of water on the mat. But is Carli Judice going to be one to actually exploit the grappling weaknesses of Gabi Fernandes? In my opinion, probably not. So we're probably going to get a stand-up fight where Carli Judice may start to slow down. And when she does, if she does, that's where the boxing of Gabi Fernandes starts to really show to be effective. But yeah, women's mixed martial arts, I've already lost money on both these girls. You know, I bet Gabi Fernandes in her UFC debut. I got dusted. I also bet Carli Judice on the contender. I got dusted. So guys, no action for me personally on this matchup, but if I had to bet, you know, M16A4 red dot blue tiger pointed to the head and I had to bet, I had to pick, I'm going with the Brazilian boxing coach. I'm going Gabi Fernandes. That's what I'd do. This one is very, very difficult to pick. And the reason as to why that is kind of low level, right? You're looking at Brady Hiestand. The guy's a wrestler. The striking defense, dusty. The striking offense, dusty. But he's a wrestler, and his wrestling's pretty good. Now you're looking at Garrett Armfield. His boxing's very good, but the grappling, not so much. So if you're Brady, you want to get Garrett to the mat. That's how you win the fight. You've got to get him to the mat. You've got to smother Garrett Armfield. Because if you're on the feet with Garrett, you're not going to be doing too well. You know, the striking offense of Brady, kind of dusty. The striking defense, dusty. And guys, you see that against Fernie Garcia. He got cracked by Fernie Garcia. And the moment he got cracked by Fernie, he was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm a wrestler. And then he shoots. So if you're somebody that's going to bet money on Brady Hiestand to win this weekend, understand that if he's not wrestling, your ticket essentially dust. But guys, on the flip side, Garrett Armfield, his boxing's very good. Like really, really good. So if this matchup stays on the feet and you're somebody that's got money on Garrett Armfield and it stays on the feet, then you're looking at some profit. But yeah, this one's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. It's a tough one to call. Very tough. But it's going to come down to who can go to the cage and essentially fight to their game plan. We know what Brady wants to do. We know what Garrett wants to do. Garrett wants to box. Brady wants to wrestle. I'm going to side with the underdog. I'm going to side with the wrestler, Brady Hiestand. But like I said, if he's not wrestling, how does he win the fight? He's not going to box up Garrett Armfield. He's not going to do much on the feet. So if Brady wants to win, you've got to wrestle. He is a good wrestler, right? So he may get Garrett Armfield to the mat. And if you're Garrett Armfield, you've got to show the get-ups. You've got to get back to the feet. Start to box with Brady Hiestand. This one's tough. It's a good fight. I'm going to side with the underdog. Next matchup, we've got Nate Maness taking on Jimmy Flick. And guys, this one, you know, I kind of favour Nate Maness to win the fight. But at the same time, I predicted Jimmy Flick as a nice underdog to get an opportunistic submission against Malcolm Gordon, and that's exactly what happened. And that's what Jimmy Flick really likes to do, you know, be opportunistic with his jiu-jitsu. If you leave your neck, he'll attack the neck, he'll attack an arm, attack a leg, right? Flying triangle chokes. He's very opportunistic. And obviously Malcolm Gordon is like, you know, respectfully, he's one of the worst of all time to be in the UFC, respectfully. But guys, Nate Maness, in all fairness, this guy's been looking good. He's been looking okay. You know what he done to Mendonça? He got dusted. But just to go back to Jimmy Flick for a moment, his striking defense, you know, not the greatest. You're seeing against Alessandro Costa, the calf kick landing over and over and over. And that's maybe down to the fact that Jimmy Flick, you know, left mixed martial arts, came back, and obviously didn't look too good in his return fight. And hasn't really looked good since. But like I said, opportunistic. If you leave your neck, he'll attack it. If you leave an arm, he'll attack it. So that's the only way that I can really see Nate Maness losing, you know, just giving Jimmy Flick a submission, handing him the win, right? But yeah, like I said, I sided with Jimmy Flick as a slight underdog against Malcolm Gordon. It doesn't seem necessary, it doesn't seem reasonable to do the same thing against Nate Maness. Like I said, Malcolm Gordon, just not that good. Nate Maness, as of recent, he's looking improved. So really it comes down to, will Nate Maness blunder? That's what it comes down to. And guys, I've been playing a lot of chess recently. And that's what chess is down to. If you don't blunder, if you don't blunder a piece, blunder a queen, you win the game, right? But guys, in a game of chess, somebody has to blunder, right? And also in a fight, somebody has to blunder. Somebody has to make a mistake. So if you're Nate Maness, you don't give your neck. You don't give your arm. You don't give Jimmy Flick the win. You don't blunder. And if you don't, you should win the fight. So give me Nate Maness. Now moving into a matchup between Tagir Ulanbekov taking on one of my favourite fighters, Joshua Van. And this one's very interesting, extremely interesting, because Tagir Ulanbekov, this guy's a very good wrestler. Russian wrestler, right? He beat Cody Durden at his own game. And we know Cody Durden is a good wrestler, American wrestler, right? But he also dropped Cody Durden. And what's so funny is, as I was watching tape, with that fight, I was watching the fight and I was thinking, you know what? As the opponent is throwing punches at Tagir Ulanbekov, he doesn't really counter. And the moment I thought that, right? The moment I thought that, Cody Durden throws a punch, boom, counters, and he drops him. And I was like, okay, he does counter. He does counter. He just dropped Cody Durden. But guys, Josh Van invites. He invites you to box, right? So if you're Tagir Ulanbekov, even though you dropped Cody Durden, do you want to go in there and box with Josh Van? And guys, Josh Van gets better as the fight progresses. Most fighters, though, round one's good. And then after 10 minutes, they start to fatigue. They start to slow down. That's not the case with Josh Van. Josh Van gets better as the fight progresses, right? And Tagir Ulanbekov, his cardio's a little bit dusty. So guys, in my opinion, I think Tagir Ulanbekov, he probably wins round one. Then Josh Van actually realizes, look, now the fight starts. You've won round one. Cool. Can you win round two? Because if you don't get me to the mat, I'm going to start to invest to the body. I'm going to start to box you up. Guys, this kind of reminds me of Ramazan and Meave against JDM. You know when JDM first got to UFC, he was a plus 100, plus 110 against Ramazan. And Ramazan, you know, good wrestler, but cardio kind of dusty. So if he didn't stop JDM in round one, then he's probably going to go on to experience a tough fight. And I think that's the same thing. I think if you don't stop Josh Van, then the fight starts. It starts round two, and his boxing's so good. The body work, the investment to the body. Guys, I've got to side with Josh Van. I don't think round one's going to be good. I think he's going to get wrestled in round one, you know, taken to the mat and essentially mauled. But if he doesn't get stopped in round one and Tagir starts to slow down, that's where Josh Van, you know, starts to fight, starts to box, starts to find the body, starts to make the opponent realise, oh man, this guy's a good boxer. He's not slowing down. He's only getting better. So yeah, man, give me Josh Van as an underdog to work his way into the fight. He normally loses round one. He probably does lose round one again. But after that, that's where Josh Van starts to box, starts to find the body, and starts to essentially break the opponent. Give me Josh Van. Hey guys, if you waited to smoke with me, amen. You've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's always been a triple amen gang. Let's go. Hey guys, I don't really know what to speak about. Hey listen, back in the day, you guys will send me smoke break topics. Hey, where's the smoke break topics, guys? Send me them and I'll try to enlighten you. You know what I'm saying? Give you some information on the topic that you give me. But don't suggest politics, because the other day I had a comment on Joe Biden. And we had a Joe Biden fan in the comment section. He was a little bit sad, a little bit salty, and he was in the comments like, if you support Trump, that makes you a criminal. You're a criminal if you support Trump. And I'm like, listen, the person you support, Joe Biden, first of all, he doesn't even know that you support him, because he doesn't even know his name. And the dude was like, yeah, I'll take someone who doesn't know their name over a criminal. Listen, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. If he doesn't know his name, how does he run a country? How? Oh, that's better than a criminal. That's better than... Come on now. He's Octagon side. Donald Trump, Octagon side. He loves it. He loves it. Let's go. But yeah, send your smoke break topics. No politics. We used to do that back in the day, right? People would be posting smoke break topics left, right and center. So yeah guys, start posting the smoke break topics again in the comments, or send them on Instagram, even if it's like UFC. You know what I'm saying? If there's a fighter that you like, if there's a weight class, post the smoke break topics. Alright guys, let's go. Now moving into a matchup between Adam Fugitt taking on Josh Quinlan. And guys, I've got to do more tape on Adam Fugitt. But as for Josh Quinlan, we can speak about Josh Quinlan, right? He went in there and dusted Jason Witt. But guys, Jason Witt, the chin is, you know, it's made of dust. So Josh Quinlan hit him with a beautiful counter, right? And Jason Witt just folds like a deck chair. Guys, the height and reach of Trey Waters, along with the counter boxing, it really caused Quinlan a lot of problems. Then you look at his performance against Danny Barlow, left hand to God. Left hand to God, he dusted him. And I had some money on Danny Barlow against Josh Quinlan just because I think Danny Barlow, you know, this guy's good. He's very good. But Adam Fugitt, that's what I've got to tape more. I've got to do some more tape. But working from memory, just working from memory on this one, I think Josh Quinlan, he should win this one. He should win this fight. So yeah, guys, I kind of expect Josh Quinlan to, you know, find the mark, find the chin, cause some good damage. And if the counters are on point, the damage is on point, then he should win the fight, right? This isn't Danny Barlow. Adam Fugitt isn't Danny Barlow with the left-hand counter. He's not Trey Waters, who's like a giraffe with some nice counters again, right? This is Adam Fugitt, and I do have to go watch some more tape. I've got to go watch the tape, but working from memory, give me Josh Quinlan. Now, guys, moving into a matchup between Almabaev taking on Jose Johnson. And, guys, recently I broke down a couple matchups. Jocelyn Edwards against Perez, Ricky Tercios against Raul Rosas Jr. And I mentioned in both those breakdowns, look, Raul Rosas Jr., his biggest strength, getting the opponent to the mat. Ricky Tercios, his biggest weakness, his takedown defense. Same thing with Jocelyn Edwards and Perez. You know, same thing. And guys, what you've got here is exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Jose Johnson, his takedown defense, that of a newborn baby giraffe. Again, the newborn baby giraffe, when it's born, right, it tries to stand up. It tries to stand up. It starts wobbling around. Boom. Face plant. You know what I'm saying? That's the takedown defense of Ricky Tercios. That's the takedown defense of Jocelyn Edwards. That's the takedown defense of Jose Johnson. Some fighters just, they don't know what defensive wrestling is. No matter how much they try, no matter how much they train, they go to the cage and there's no improvements. That's Jose Johnson. He cannot stay on his feet. And guys, Almabaev, this guy's a very good grappler. When he gets you to the mat, his jiu-jitsu, he's high level. And guys, some people might be thinking, well, why are they doing this to Jose Johnson? If they know he's a bad wrestler, why are they giving him a good grappler? Why are they giving him someone that's going to essentially bring him to the mat? Why are they making a mismatch? And guys, the answer to that is, look, if you're competing in the UFC, if you're competing at the highest level of mixed martial arts, and the UFC know that you're a bad wrestler, you're going to be giving wrestlers. Because look, either you get better or you get cut. Hey, it's a cold world. It's a cold world at the highest level of mixed martial arts. I love it. So if you're going to bet money on the big underdog Jose Johnson, understand that if his defensive wrestling hasn't improved, and even if it has improved, there's still a good chance that he finds himself on the mat. And once he goes to the mat, that's where Almabaev just dominates. And I do believe that's more than likely going to be the case. You know, Jose Johnson, he's got the height, he's got the reach, the striking's okay, but can you stay on the feet? Probably not. So give me Almabaev. Now moving into a matchup between Miles Johns taking on Douglas Silva de Andrade. And guys, Douglas Silva de Andrade getting close to 40 years old, but arguably one of the best 40-year-olds on the roster. He's not actually 40 yet, but he's very close. He's about to turn 39. So yeah, Douglas Silva de Andrade, always been solid. Good power, good boxing, good toughness. You know, this guy's good. For a 39-year-old, very decent. And Miles Johns on the flip side, good wrestling, good overhand rights, good calf kicks. But his cardio's a little bit dusty at times. But if Miles Johns can push you against the fence, bring you to the mat, or glue you to the mat, then his cardio kind of holds up. But that's where Douglas Silva de Andrade is going to say, look, I'm breaking away from all of that. You know, you're not holding me against the fence. I'm breaking off the fence. And once I get back to the boxing, you're going to see the damage. You're going to feel the consequences of being in the cage with Douglas Silva de Andrade. But this one's good, man. This one's good. Miles Johns, he's been looking okay. You know, I bet him against Dan Argueta. But then I bet Cody Gibson against Miles Johns. And that's where Miles Johns showed us, look, this guy's striking defense is dusty. My overhand rights, they're landing. My calf kicks, they're landing. I'm going to land these hooks. I'm going to land at will against Cody Gibson. But guys, is that going to be the case against Douglas Silva de Andrade? Because if Miles Johns goes into this matchup thinking, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing that I did against Cody Gibson. I'm going to do that to Douglas Silva de Andrade. Then you might get clipped. You know what I'm saying? But this one's tough. This one's tough. Give me El Chapo. Give me Miles Johns. Like I said, Douglas Silva de Andrade is one of the best older fighters on the roster. Very tough, very solid. His boxing's good, but Miles Johns, he's been looking okay. So give me El Chapo, give me Miles Johns. Now moving into a matchup between Lucas Almeida taking on Timmy Cuamba. And guys, someone's got to meet Ben Askren. Someone's going to Shadow City to meet Ben, right? Someone's getting dusted. And that's because when you look at the boxing of Timmy, this guy can box. This guy's boxing is very quick, very sharp. He might send Lucas Almeida to Ben Askren. Or Lucas Almeida may send Timmy to Ben Askren, because Lucas Almeida, this guy can crack. This guy's got big knockout power. So my story, my narrative of this matchup is somebody's getting starched. Somebody's getting sent to Shadow City. Somebody's going to meet Ben Askren. And, you know, Ben Askren's always waiting. You know what I'm saying? The moment you get starched, the moment you get dusted, you see Ben. Ben's right there. You see the curly hair and you're like, oh, that's Ben. I see that. But guys, listen, this one is good. It's good. I think the cardio of Timmy Cuamba is a little bit dusty, but also the same with Lucas Almeida. Guys, this is another one where you put the gun to the head, P90 silencer with the flashbang. I'm going Timmy Cuamba. Give me Timmy Cuamba to dust up Lucas Almeida. Moving into the co-main event, we've got Ikram Eliskerov taking on Antonio Trocoli. And guys, I'm going to side with Eliskerov to win the co-main event. However, from a gambling perspective, you're seeing the betting line on Eliskerov. It's just unbettable. Do not put your money on Eliskerov, because when you put your money on Eliskerov, you don't actually make any money. And that's why you shouldn't bet Eliskerov, because anytime you make a bet, you want to get paid. You don't want to just make a bet like £900 to win 100. That's not a good bet. That's a terrible bet. Now, if you put £100 on and you make 900, that's a good bet. That's good profit, right? But also to make a 900 from 100, that's difficult. So you really should be aiming for, you know, somewhere around evens. You know, put 100 on to make 100, or put 100 on a 2-leg parlay to make, you know, plus 150, right? So the prediction is going to be Eliskerov. This guy's a monster, but the betting line is, it's a madness, right? So give me Eliskerov to win the co-main event, but if there's a big shock and you've got money on Eliskerov, then you're looking at retirement from gambling, right? So yeah, give me Eliskerov, but no bets. Now moving into the main event, and what a main event we've got. We've got Alex Perez taking on Tatsuro Taira. And by the way, if anyone's Japanese, you should name your kid Tatsuro, because what a name. Look at that name, Tatsuro Taira. That's good. I like that. And I also like the fighting ability of Tatsuro Taira. You know, on the feet, very sharp. And he's also got a mixed skill set, right? The left hook, the right hand, the 1-2, the kicks. And it's all powerful. It's all quick. It's all very sharp for Tatsuro Taira. Then we start to look at his jiu-jitsu. You know, once he gets the opponent to the mat, he's a black belt, right? So not only is he very sharp on the feet, on the mat, very, very skilled. Obviously not on the same level as Charles do Bronx or Damian Maia, but who's on their level? No one's on their level when it comes to jiu-jitsu. However, Tatsuro Taira, still a black belt, still very good on the mat. However, guys, looking at Alex Perez, this guy's got a lot of experience, and his boxing, look what he done to Nikolai a few weeks ago. Folded. Absolutely folded him like a deck chair. Beautiful. And I actually sided with Nikolai in my breakdown, but then I changed my prediction like 2 days later. But if you're not following me on Instagram or checking the community tab, then you don't know about my changed predictions. But yeah, that was one of them. I just had a weird feeling that Perez was going to find the mark, and he did, right? But this time around against Tatsuro Taira, I don't see it. I don't see him finding the mark. Now, guys, I also want to mention the matchup that Perez had against Muhammad Mokaev, because when you watch that matchup, Mokaev was kind of struggling with the wrestling. And some people might suggest that, well, if Muhammad Mokaev was struggling to get Perez to the mat, then Tatsuro Taira probably struggles to get him to the mat too, seeing as Mokaev is a better wrestler. But the thing with Tatsuro Taira is he doesn't need to rely on the wrestling. He doesn't need to rely on the grappling. Whereas with Muhammad Mokaev, he's kind of one-dimensional. You know, he's not a striker. He's not a boxer. He's not a kicker. Tatsuro Taira can do all of those things, and he does it really, really well. So guys, what I can tell you is, as somebody that actually sided with Perez as an underdog against Nicolau, What I can tell you here is, for round 1 and round 2, I fully expect Tatsuro Taira to cause serious damage. Like serious damage. So potentially a round 1 stoppage, potentially a round 2 stoppage. However, guys, if we go past round 2, that's kind of where Perez may start to take over, right? Because he's got so much experience, right? And his cardio's good. So if you're somebody that's going to bet money on Tatsuro Taira and you go past round 2, in my opinion, it may turn sweaty. It may get a bit sweaty, right? But in my opinion, because Tatsuro Taira most likely does have a good round 1 and a good round 2, because of that, I'm willing to side with Tatsuro Taira. Guys, like I said, I sided with Alex Perez when most people were picking Nicolau. But this time round, you know, this isn't Tatsuro Taira coming off a long layoff like Nicolau. This ain't a Tatsuro Taira that's going to circle the octagon and not really sit down on his punches like Nicolau, right? This guy's sharp on the feet. He's quick. He's powerful. The left hook, the right hand, the kicks, and also the black belt. Give me Tatsuro Taira to actually stop Alex Perez in round 1 or round 2. I think he's the real deal. I think he's good to go. Give me Tatsuro Taira. As always, my homies, drop down your main event, your co-main event, your straight bets, your Money City bets, all that good stuff. Drop in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Peace.